and He alone chooses whomever and whatever He wills of people, commands, times, and places, or any choice in the matter. And from those things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates, or from those things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses, is that He chooses to give virtue to some things over others. So for example, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created the angels. This creation from light, this tremendous creation, only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows how many there are of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they never disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But amongst them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose to give virtue to some over others. For example, Israfil alayhi salam, the one responsible for blowing the trumpet, or Mikail alayhi salam, the one responsible for the rain and the clouds, and of course Jibreel alayhi salam, the one responsible for bringing down the revelation, Ar-Ruh al-Amin, the best of the angels. And from those things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose to give virtue to are His books, His revelation. Those know the name of. For example, the Suhuf, the scriptures given to Ibrahim and to Musa alayhi salam, the Injil given to Isa, and of course the best revelation, the best speech of Allah that is not created, that is the Quran, the best book, the best revelation sent to the best messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And from those things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose to give virtue to is mankind. And from the best of mankind are the prophets, messengers. And from the best of the messengers are Ulul Azm, the 5 messengers of strong determination and will. And they are Nuh, alayhi salam, the first messenger. And then Ibrahim, and then Musa, and Isa alayhi salam. And then of course the final message, the best prophet and messenger, the best of mankind, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, chose to give virtue to. Some over others are the different nations. And the best nation being this nation. The ummah of the last nation, the best nation, which was sent to the best messenger and the best revelation. And that's a tremendous virtue of Allah Ta'ala over us. And from those things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose to give virtue to some over others are the different months. The best of them being Ramadan, the month in which the Quran was sent down. And then after that, the sacred months, Rajab, Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah, which we are now, or which we have just entered upon. And of course, Shahrullah al-Muharram. And then from those things that Allah has chosen to give virtue to some over others are the nights of the year. The best of them being the last 10 nights of Ramadan. Amongst the best 10 nights of Ramadan, or amongst the best nights, the night of decree, Laylatul Qadr, then 1,000 months. And then from amongst the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen to give virtue to some over others are the days of the year. And the best of those days are the days that we've just entered upon. The first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Wal Fajr, Walayalin Ashr. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears the dawn and the 10 nights. And know that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by something, this thing has a tremendous virtue. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by the creation, because we ourselves, we don't swear by anything except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We only swear by Allah. And the one who swears by the creation from amongst us, meaning the creation, this is shirk with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because swearing is an act of worship. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator, al-Khaliq, swears by whatever He wills. Whether it be wal-shams, al-qamar, wal-layl, wal-duha, wal-asr. He swears by amongst the creation. This shows that this thing has a tremendous virtue. Allah says, Wal-Fajr, Walayalin Ashr. Allah swears by the dawn and the 10 nights. Ibn Kathir, rahimahullah ta'ala, he mentions in his tafsir that which means the 10 nights referred to here in these ayat are referring to the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah, as was said by Ibn Abbas.